championship level in everything that we do. That's what OUDNA is.
So I'm Robert Saussman, Director of Sports Science here at OU. Basically, my role here is to help ensure that our athletes are developing and to do everything that we can to maximize their performance on Saturday and maybe identify some fatigue or precursors to what we know might be correlated to injury and help drive conversations related to interventions with our sports medicine staff and our strength conditioning staff before they become issues. When we have training sessions, we put GPS units on all of our athletes, and that measures what we call external load. So it's all the work that they do on the field, distance covered, number of accelerations, decelerations, the rate of those accelerations and decelerations, also top speed, high speed running. So it captures all of the data for the players. So on a typical day before a session, my staff and I might arrive an hour or more beforehand, get all of those individual units set up for the individual players, and then deliver those to the players as they're entering whatever arena we're doing our session in, whether it's the indoor or whether it's outside on the field or in the stadium, get them set up, and then we monitor in real time everything that our players do. This time of the year, the emphasis is on training and development and really driving performance. Our role as sports scientists, as we're the assist guys, like we have the ball and we're gonna feed it to somebody that's gonna make a great play or a highlight or score a point, and that's our job, is to help make everybody else around us better, to put them in a position to do their jobs better, execute at a higher level. Yeah, I always say that my why is, connecting my passion to my purpose. My passion is athletics and athletic performance, and I feel like my purpose is to, have a disproportionate impact on those around me, the athletes, the coaches, and for me, the level of satisfaction that I get from providing experts, whether it's a sport coach or a strength conditioning coach, with meaningful information and insights that allows them to do their job better, really gives me a lot of fulfillment. So this is our sports science lab here at the University of Oklahoma. We're very fortunate that it's embedded within our weight room facility, so it makes for seamless assessments for athletes to come down and make it part of training. So we'll show you some of the things that we use on a regular basis. So we start off right here. We have our force plates. This is our biomechanical assessment tool that we use quite frequently with our athletes. So we have, as you can see, there's two. So we call these bilateral force plates, and this gives us information bilaterally, so we can look at the right and the left leg independently of one another. And again, several tests that you can do on this. What we do most commonly is just a standard counter movement jump. So we'll have our athletes do a vertical jump for maximal height as fast as they can. We do ask them to keep their hands on their hips, so it restricts them in a way that eliminates momentum and gives us a true measure of lower body power output. I think one of the cool things about these force plates are it samples at 1,000 hertz. That means it collects 1,000 data points per second. So it allows us to see how athletes are producing force, how quickly they're producing force, right and left side independent of the other. So again, it is really informative from potentially identifying precursors to injuries if you have major asymmetries. It allows us to test physical development over time, and then we get into season. It's a great fatigue monitoring tool if we can see changes in how an athlete is producing force, the strategies that they're using to generate the force, or the time it's taking them to develop those forces. Those can all be indicators of fatigue and give us great information to drive interventions. Right behind those over here, these are a few of our catapult GPS units, and these go with the players anytime they do any sort of practice or conditioning session, whether it's indoor or outdoor. So you can see you're pretty small, unobtrusive. It sits right in between the shoulder blades of all of our players. They wear a harness that holds it. And what this does, so again, it tells us speed, distance, accelerations, rate of accelerations, decelerations. So I'm talking about the hardware The GPS unit actually samples at 10 hertz, which means 10 data points per second. The accelerometer samples at 100 hertz, so it allows you to be, really specific and granular with the information that you collect. So with that, we can use it to track progress so where we are right now, we're building for August. So we can take all the GPS information that we collect on our players throughout the season and reverse engineer that to know, okay, if we have an 8-month runway to ramp up for what we're going to face in season, we can reverse engineer that to know how do we progressively build in a way that's going to allow us to prepare for camp in the season, but do so in a progressive way that helps us combat unnecessary overload, which might create a scenario that's more favorable for injury for our athletes. And then we'll come back over here and we have our Nord boards, which is our hamstring strength assessment tool on the ankles.
Yep.
Right? And attached to these hooks are force transducers. So as you pull into the hooks, it gives you a measure of strength or force output. And there are several different positions and exercises that you can assess with this. Two of the primary ones that we do are the full Nordic hamstring curl and the isometric 30-degree curl. So the full Nordic, you start tall, right? We tell our athletes to stay stacked from the shoulders down through the hips to the knees. So we're trying to be in a straight line. We want to squeeze our glutes, brace our core, almost like we're doing a vertical plank. And then we try to stay in that straight line and fall for as long as we can. When we can't hold it, we just drop and walk back to the top. And that gives us a measurement of eccentric hamstring strength for our athletes. And it's a great assessment tool, but it's also part of training. So we're able to kind of integrate together training and assessments for our athletes to make it really efficient. Those are the three things that we use on the most regular basis to help give us an understanding of what our athletes are doing, how they're developing, and then ultimately how they're responding to the stressors that they're facing on the field and here in the weight room.
My name is Robert Fulton. I'm Associate Athletic Director for Athletic Medicine, Student Athlete Health and Wellness. This is my 23rd year at Oklahoma. Just finishing up my third year with football and administrative oversight. I'm from Oklahoma, southwestern part of the state, a small town called Hollis. If you would have asked me 24 years ago, it would have been a dream come true. I mean, it would have been the pinnacle of my career, kind of an opportunity to be in the position that I'm at now. Our responsibilities are pretty much anything healthcare. So we're kind of the first line of defense. We oversee all of our medical providers, whether it's athletic trainers, physical therapists, dietitians, mental health providers, all underneath one umbrella. So if it's related to health and wellness of the student athlete, that's what we oversee. It all starts with prevention. Our goal first and foremost is to prevent any type of injury, to prepare the guys for what they're getting ready to face, to prepare them for their sport. But if and when injuries happen, we've got a dynamic team of professionals, 5 athletic trainers, physical therapists, strength conditioning professionals, sports science professionals, dietitians, mental health professionals that all work in a collaborative effort to guide them through from injury all the way through return. So we're there from the smallest of illness to a post-operative shoulder or knee. We're with them daily, oftentimes seeing them multiple times a day, utilizing our resources, utilizing our physicians. I always say that our people are our strongest resource. The people that we have the opportunity to work with, the network that we have, the support that we have for our athletes makes us who we are. It's our strength. The people that are dedicated to our athletes and kind of their commitment to excellence is what makes Oklahoma special. I mean, we're in a service industry. We're here to provide a service for our student athletes, and for us, we get a little bit of a reward just to walk alongside our athletes as they achieve success. I see a lot of times that they always ask, well, what do you do during the off season? And I just kind of chuckle, and well, there really is no off season. you're continually working, you're continually preparing. You know, it's always, you know, there's always a season that you're working towards trying to get better. We're in the same manner. We're always reflecting upon ourselves, looking in a mirror to see how we can be better, what we can do different, and how we can grow. I think in that world, you know, just the relationships that we have and how we're able to kind of navigate through those things. I get that question more than anything, that I think people outside probably truly don't understand, that, you know, seasons never stop. And we don't play games on Saturdays, but we're still working to get better each and every day.
Welcome to the Freddie Center for Athletic Medicine. This is where anything that takes place from an athletic healthcare standpoint, this is our one-stop shop, to where we have resources available for our athletes. On this side is our treatment, our passive treatment table, as we like to have a hands-on approach with all of our athletes. And so we have athletes that are getting care using different modalities, STEM, game ready, cryotherapy, dry needling, those types of things. On the other side of the room, as we make our way around, is more of a functional space, more of a rehab gym type space. We have offices to all of our staff. There's an office out of this one space. So it's a great opportunity to interact with a lot of professionals who see a lot of different domains, really see a lot of different types of injuries. Here we have a full body digital x-ray unit. We have a radiology tech that comes in 3 days a week. When we have a physician in clinic, we have a physician in clinic 5 days a week. The radiology tech is here 3 days a week with the orthopedic surgeon. So a full body x-ray, we can take an x-ray of any body part, and then digitally those images are sent to a PC that's over in one of the exam rooms. We've got 3 different exam rooms. We have an orthopedic exam room, we have a general med exam room, and we have a cardiac exam room. They're all very identical, but they're all used throughout the season, throughout the school year, for clinical visits for our physicians that come in and take care of our athletes. So here is our hydrotherapy space. We have a cold plunge that's set at 54 degrees. We're utilizing this from recovery, that's used as an adjunct to the space that's down next to the locker room as well. Next to that is the HydroWorks 2000 unit. It's an underwater treadmill that allows us to take somebody from time of injury, from time of surgery, and return them back safely through a progression as they return back to on-the-field activities. So this is just the first aid station that we utilize on game day that's heavily active. This is our taping area that we have all of our athletic trainers that we're doing our taping, our prep, those types of things before the game, before practice. And then this is just really convenient and adjacent to Soul Mission, Elite Recovery Space, and directly into the locker room. So it really has a nice flow. We're able to transition the guys in and out of here pretty seamlessly. So this is our Elite Recovery Space. So this is a combination of red light, massage, cryotherapy, hydrotherapy, and aromatherapy from that standpoint. It allows the athletes to come in and really utilize these modalities to help them recover from the stresses that they put on their bodies on a daily basis. So this is another area that we utilize from a recovery standpoint. It's our nap space. This is in the players' lounge, but this gives us an opportunity to have a dark, cool, quiet space during camp, during season, during school year. So we've got the sleep pods that it gives you an opportunity to kind of get in there and relax, unwind for a bit. We've got some weighted blankets. We've got some Normatec recliners. You can come in. Really, we've got a big focus, a big effort on sleep. Sleep is the cheapest form of recovery, one of the best optimal forms of recovery that we can utilize. So giving us the opportunity to educate on sleep, on rest, on recovery allows us to help prepare for the next level. And so that gives you a good look at the inside of what we do from a health and wellness standpoint, kind of the commitment to resources, the commitment that we have to our student athletes, the spaces that we provided, and try to keep everything in-house and try to give them every opportunity to recover and have success on the field.
As we celebrate Black History Month, a time to reflect, honor, and embrace the deep impact of Black culture, which is woven into the very fabric of American history. Because Black history is American history. It's not a separate story, but a defining thread in the larger narrative of this nation. One of resilience, creativity, and perseverance. The story of Black America is a story of overcoming, of turning struggle into strength, Black history is a testament to the power of faith, unity, and again, perseverance. So today, we celebrate a history that isn't just written in books. It's passed down at dinner tables, seasoned with our meals, and shared in the breaking of bread. Think about soul food, a cuisine born from necessity, yet transformed into one of America's most cherished traditions. Our ancestors took what little they had, scraps, leftovers, and whatever could be cultivated, and turned it into nourishment for both body and for the soul. Soul food reminds us that even in the face of hardship, we create, we innovate, we turn what was meant to limit us into something that strengthens us. And I'm not just talking to the people of color in this room, right? It's on all of us to be able to carry on this legacy, to be able to carry on these traditions and really remember the history that makes us such a unique country and such a unique people, because we're all a part of it. And this meal today is, the reason that these tables are set up like this is, anybody know what this style is called? Family style, right? Because we one big family, right? We talk about that all the time here at OU, being a family. And there's no, like, it just hit different when you gotta say, pass me the collard greens, right? It hit a little different. And so, as we enjoy this meal today, always keep in mind those who came before us to provide all of us this opportunity. What did Dr. Martin Luther King say? He said, injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere. And so, if there's any of us that are suffering injustice, any of us that are suffering oppression, then it's really it's all of us suffering. Understand? And so let's enjoy the meal and let's have a good time.
In with me. Okay, interview prep. Why do we do interview prep? Why are we doing this today? Why does it matter? Well, in general, when you think about football, when you think about business, we always talk about how the correlation is really relevant. It's there. So when you talk about your interviews, when you talk about your combine, what do you think about? Tell me something. What do you think about the NFL combine? What do you think of? No, you think of the 40s, you think of your interviews, right? Or how you perform, all those things. Well then, when you go to the combine, if you get the opportunity to, if you go to the Senior Bowl where you see Billy balling, when you go to the East-West Shrine, whatever situation you get to go to, you're gonna sit down one-on-one with a bunch of teams. And it can be one-on-one or it can be one in like 15. You got coaches, GMs, all kinds of people in that room. So we want to have the skills to represent ourselves in the best way possible. So when we talk about the business world, same situation. You go in there, you got a bunch of people like how at the combine, there's a whole bunch of a list of dudes that at your position trying to get the job. Same thing in the business world. You got a whole bunch of people that have applied for the job. Now you're going in, you're getting an interview. And you got to represent yourself better than everybody else. That's the point of this thing.
Tell us about a time where you made a mistake, and how did you rebound from that?
I think I made a lot of mistakes. We all have. I think it's important to sit back and reflect on how and why that mistake happened, and learn from it, and learn the emotions and why you made a mistake. And I think an easy example is the Boise State game. I played poorly. I was just still young, and the crowd kind of got to me. But then after that game, I went home and I watched it and I thought about it. And then that was the 5th game of the year, and I'm gonna brag here for the next 6 games. I scored about 25 touchdowns and 3 turnovers. So I learned from it because I learned from that film, and I learned from those emotions that I was feeling in the game. And I learned that the game is slower than your mind makes it, and it's all the challenges that come in your mind.
As I mentioned before, my schools, I've been a walk-on 3 times. I've been very bottom 3 times. And through that, I've learned to work my way up. I was leadership council at my previous school. I just got here 2 weeks ago, but I'm slowly gonna work my way up, get to know people, network. I really like talking with people and interacting. And as I mentioned on that application right there, communication's key in this business. And so I really like working for things, and I've done it 1,000 times.
If you want Andy to stay, cheers. If You want John to stay? Cheer. You want Grayson to stay? Cheer. Danny. And that means it's only 4 for this guy, right? It's 8 teams. Who we got to pick? I think Grayson wins.
What are you willing to tolerate? You guys that got a chip today, what do you want to tolerate?
Nutrition is often the crucial piece of the performance puzzle.
Well, my man Sun Tzu said every battle's one win. Before it's fought. Preparation, being prepared.